hope everyone is staying warm and dry on this cold, rainy, very rainy day here in the state of Georgia. Salute to everyone. Salute, 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 salute. Um, I was intending on doing this yesterday, but really didn't get an update on exactly what was going on with Carson Beck's injury. Uh, got a little bit of information that just came in. So basically, it's a UCL injury. We don't know the extent of it. Um, so that's what we're going to discuss today. Carson Beck's UCL injury and what does this means for the Dogs playoff run. So everyone get your popcorn ready. Armondo Black. And this is the Dog Call. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Dog Call. I'm your host, Armondo Black. I was hoping to come with the better news for you this afternoon, but it looks like that we're going to be without Carson Beck for the rest of the playoffs. Definitely for the Sugar Bowl. I don't want to say for the entire playoffs because I really don't really haven't really got a definitive answer if it's an UCL injury or a UCL tear. But so for those of you that don't understand exactly what's going on in the SEC championship game right before halftime, as you remember, Carson Beck had extended his arm. He had rolled out. He had reared back. He was getting ready to launch it for a Hail Mary at the end of the half. And in my opinion, I felt like we should have just downed the ball and took it in at halftime. We were only down by 6-3. Hell, we've been down by 17-0. We've been down a lot of times this year. 6-3 wouldn't have been nothing, and we got the ball back. We got the ball first in the third quarter, right after the half. So I really don't understand that play call to go and try and Hail Mary, especially after what had happened the week before against Georgia Tech, right before overtime. Looked like the same exact type of play. Carson Beck goes back to pass, and he rears his arm back, and the Georgia Tech guy comes from the blind side and hits his arm. And you could tell he was grimacing, and he had some issues with his arm during that overtime. But that's neither here or there. He suffered a UCL injury, and I'm just going to explain to you all what a UCL injury is all about. The ulnar collateral ligament. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and break this down And you all just bear with me here. Just bear with me here. This is not going to take long at all. All right, let me take this banner down so you guys can see. Okay. And the UCL is located on the inside of the elbow. Ligaments are tissues that hold the bones together. The upper arm bone is attached to a bone in the forearm. By the UCL, this ligament can be injured by being stretched or torn. This injury can change the stability of the elbow. So, just reading that part right there, this ligament can be injured by being stretched or torn. This injury can change the stability of the elbow. If your elbow is not functioning correctly, there's no way that you can throw a football or even attempt to go out there and throw uh, passes in real time. In practice, yes, but in a game, in a real time game, I highly doubt it. There are different types of UCL injuries. These are called grades. UCL grades are, and this is very important. I want to go over this. Grade 1 involves no tear, but the ligament is stretched. This is what I'm hearing that he may have. Grade 1. Then you have grade 2 here. The ligament is stretched and often partially torn. If that is the case, he's done. If that is the case, he's done. There's no way he's going to be able to come back. And 9 times out of 10, he would have to have some type of surgery. Grade 3, there is a complete tear through the ligament, and this will involve Tommy John surgery. I keep hearing that he's going to have Tommy John surgery, so I really don't know definitive. Just giving you guys an update here. Causes: overuse. The ACL can be torn by stress from using it too much. This injury is common in baseball pitchers and other athletes that throw. This pain is not normal. Trauma. A fall onto extended arm may cause the UCL to tear or pull away from the bone. This can happen in contact sports. So the trauma, that's from what I saw, and I think the kid from Georgia Tech did some damage as well. I think he did some damage as well, but not is to the extent of what happened in the SEC championship game. Okay, now this is very important here. This is very important. Remember when Kirby told Holly Rowe right before half that Kirby could not grip the ball? Remember when Holly Rowe was asking him about uh, Carson Beck's status and update. She was at, what his status was, and he told Holly Rowe that he couldn't grip the ball. Okay, so numb feeling or tingling in the fourth and fifth finger. Remember, Kirby told her that he couldn't grip the ball. A pop or pain at the inner elbow. Remember the big ice pack he had wrapped around his arm. Pain during and after throwing or other activities. Now, the reason why I'm suspecting that it could be grade 1, because he did not go in the he went in the dressing room at halftime, but when he came out, they had an ice pack around his elbow, and his arm wasn't in the sling. His arm wasn't in a sling like Nolan Smith. When Nolan Smith had the injury 2 years ago to his elbow, he came out and his arm was in a sling. His arm was in a sling. Okay. Uh, Diagnosis. Most of the time, a UCL injury is diagnosed by an orthopedic provider. Orthopedic providers focus on bones, muscles, ligaments, and more. These help your body move. A physical exam will be done on the elbow to see if there is any concern for injury. X-rays will be done to check for injury to the bone. A tear in soft tissue would not show up on an X-ray. Yeah. MRI may be done to see if there is an injury to the ligaments in the elbow. The orthopedic team will either set up an appointment for you to get the MRI results, or they will call you with the results within a few days. So that's probably why we haven't heard anything. That's probably why we haven't heard anything today. We haven't heard anything today because it does take a couple of days to get the results of that MRI. So hopefully it's a strain and not a tear. If it's a tear, he's definitely done for the season, and probably uh, would need at least a year. If he would need Tommy John surgery, he would need probably close to a year for that elbow to heal properly. And I know we're in the age of modern technology, but when it comes to your arm and you need it to throw with, now if he was a receiver or a tight end, or or if he was playing safety or playing on defense, then he could come back very quickly. But the position that he plays at quarterback, that arm is going to have to heal properly. This is not going to be a rush job. So our thoughts and prayers are with him. This kid has worked hard this year. Pretty much as in the last couple of weeks has put the team up on his shoulders and carried us to a 10 win season. Yes, he's had his moments. He's had a little slump there where he was throwing interceptions, but he came back in that Tennessee game. He came out in playoff mode in that Tennessee game, and after that game, it was like the man had turned the light switch on. He was unstoppable. Who could ever forget that Black Friday game against Georgia Tech? Who could ever forget that that valiant, gutsy comeback in the second half of that Bama game? And I just want to say this: if he doesn't, if that was his last game in the SEC championship game, if that was his last game in his collegiate career, I think there's a hell of enough on tape, on film, that any NFL franchise would be lucky to have him as a quarterback. Um, yes, he has some few things that he needs to work on. Not to try to force things. I think it's more mental than than basically skills, because he has the skills. He has a cannon for an arm. He has great accuracy. I just think sometimes he tries to play hero ball, and if he can just cut that part out right there, he would be a damn good quarterback in the NFL. But in my opinion, from what I've read and from what I've researched, and of course, my wife is in the medical field. From what I've been researching, his collegiate career may be over. I think that may be his last time under center when it comes to his college career. Now, I keep hearing about him needing Tommy John surgery. The only way that he would need Tommy John surgery if it's a tear. If it's a tear, in my opinion, if he was my son, I would recommend him not only sitting out the rest of the playoffs, but also taking a year off, maybe foregoing the draft, take a year off, and then enter into the 2026 draft. That would be my advice to him, because when it comes to your arm in that position, you don't want to rush it. You do not want to rush it, because you don't want multiple tears in that same area. So my advice would be to him, if it was my son, or if I was his agent, or if I was advising him as a close relative or a close friend, if it is a tear, to just take a year off and let that elbow properly heal. But right now, that's all we know. We don't really know how serious the injury is. But our thoughts and prayers are with Carson Beck and his family. And young man, you did a great job for this school, for this university, for this team. You stepped in after Stetson left, led us to an undefeated season last year. Even though things didn't work out, we didn't win the SEC championship game last year. We didn't get a chance to defend our crown for the national title. You came back this year. He had some very, very lofty goals, in my opinion. That's another thing. I think he put too much pressure on himself coming into this season with the Heisman talk in the first round. Uh, but all in all, it worked out for him. I think he has a lot on film and on tape that any NFL general manager would be happy to have him. But go in there healthy. If you're going to go into the NFL, go in there healthy. Don't go in there with a pre-existing injury that and try to rush on the onto an NFL field and then end up re-injuring that same arm. That would not be a good thing. So take time and properly heal and rest. Young man, you're young. You're young. You have a good, NFL quarterbacks. They play. It used to be a time an NFL quarterback was 10 years at the max. Now you can play up to 20 years, 15 to 20 years, with the rule changes in the NFL, of course. So I wish Carson Beck well moving forward. Um, as far as the extent of the UCL injury, we don't know, but I can pretty much guarantee you he's not going to be available for that Sugar Bowl game. We will definitely have to get Gunner Stockton ready. Now, let's give you a little background on Gunner Stockton. Gunner Stockton from Rayburn County. Bobo recruited him. He knows the Bobo family very, very well. Bobo has been working with this kid for a number of years. So Bobo knows this kid very well. So the good thing about it is the fact that he knows Bobo's playbook very, very well. That's one good thing about it. The second good thing about this is the fact that we did win the game and we have a bye week and we don't play until January the 1st at 8 p.m. We'll play the winner of Indiana Notre Dame. One thing about Kirby when it comes to in-season adjustments and Kirby's staff, they're the best. They are the best. Remember, we went through a similar situation in 2021. We lost JT Daniels. We lost our quarterback for a good 2 or 3 weeks. And that week they had this was like week 2. This happened in week 2. It wasn't no bye week or anything like that involved. This happened in week 2. And Todd Monken and Kirby Smart, and I think Bobo was on the staff at the time. At the last minute, they had to get Stetson ready for the following Saturday. And not only did they have him well prepared, he went out there and threw for 6 touchdowns. He had a career high game. So if any staff can pull this off in college football, I'm confident and Kirby Smart and the staff that he put together that could actually have this kid ready. And listen, I'm not trying to poo-poo on Notre Dame or Indiana's defense. Both of those teams have pretty good defenses, or they wouldn't even be in the playoffs, in the college football playoffs, if they didn't have good defense. But Gunner came in the second half, came in cold off the bench in the second half, and played against the number one defense in the nation, the Texas Longhorns. Yes, the Texas Longhorns have the number one defense in the nation, and he drove the ball right down the field on them. That mobility, his mobility, he's fast, he's quick, and he has a cannon for an arm. The only thing that, and I think they'll work on him with this for the next 3.5 weeks. Don't go out there playing hero ball. If it's not there, throw it away. I would have him, as more as a game manager. But if he's able to take shots down the field, let him rip. Let him rip it, because he has a cannon for an arm. And remember, this kid broke the high school passing record. He holds the high school passing record for Georgia high school football. So I think the Georgia Bulldogs moving forward will be in good hands with Gunnar Stockton. He's playing behind a damn good old line. He has a stable of two good running backs, Nate Frazier, Trevor Etienne, and he has Cash Jones back there, and Roger Robertson. We didn't really see Robertson in the SEC championship game. I'm gonna do a little research and find out why we didn't see Robertson. We saw Dwight Phillips, nicknamed Peanut. Peanut took a hit in the second half of that game. We didn't really see him anymore, so we got to find out exactly what's going on with his status. Now the injury that really is really concerning to me, because we're deep at quarterback. We knew that coming in the season, that we were deep at quarterback. If something happened to Carson Beck, either it was going to be Gunner, Jaden Rashad, or Ryan Puglisi would be more than capable of stepping in under center and leading this team to victory. But our punter, losing our punter Thorson, that right there has me concerned, because I don't know. We didn't get a chance to see the backup punter punt. We didn't get a chance to see him punt. I think his name is Ham. I was reading the back of his jersey. I think his name was Ham. So I don't know. But knowing Kirby, just like in 2016 when we were down the kicker, he went on to the soccer team and he found Hot Rod. Hot Rod turned out to be one of the greatest kickers of all time. He's no Butler, don't get me wrong, but he's if you have Mount Rushmore of kickers for the University of Georgia, you would probably put Hot Rod on the Mount Rushmore of kickers for the University of Georgia. So I'm confident that Kirby will have the punting situation ironed out. I'm hoping that Dwight Phillips is is not hurt. I'm hoping it's not as bad as it looked, because it looked pretty bad. He took a nasty hit. Now, as far as the rumors about Gunner having a concussion, those even if he did have a concussion, you can get over a concussion in 2.5 weeks. But no signs of him having a concussion. They ran tests on him. He has no concussion from that dirty hit that the Macumba, the Texas linebacker, put on Gunner when Gunner had ran for that first down. So I watched a couple of highlights on the SEC Nation, the SEC Network, a couple of highlights of the Texas A&M game, and there was also a dirty hit put on an Aggies player, and the referees, they threw the flag for targeting, and then they picked it back up and said it wasn't targeting. That play, that hit that was put on that Aggies player, it was definitely targeting. Now, to the Gunner hit, I was listening to a podcast this morning, and both dogcasters agreed that it wasn't targeting. My thing is, he launched. He launched with his shoulder, and his helmet made contact with Gunner's helmet. So they need to come up with something. And you know, if it, you know, just because it isn't targeting doesn't mean something, you know, some kind of penalty. It needs to be two different things: targeting and helmet to helmet, because helmet to helmet can do damage as well. And there was definitely helmet to helmet contact on that play, that hit that Macumba put on Gunner Stockton. So that's neither here or there. Hey, that's for them to figure it out. Hey, I'm just a podcaster. Uh, I'm just a podcaster. I'm just here to come on here and talk about my Georgia Bulldogs and this UCL injury, unfortunate UCL injury to Carson Beck, and what does this mean for our dogs moving forward as we try to go on a championship run, which it looks like we have a very, 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 very nice path to the national championship game, the road to Atlanta, which will lead right here in the ATL. So, everyone, thank you all for coming out. I just wanted to come on here and do a quick update. If I hear anything, um, any more further information, more concrete information of the extent of the injury, uh, I will come back on and I will speak on it and give you guys more and keep you guys updated on exactly what's going on. And throughout the time between now, even though we're not playing until New Year's, we're still going to be bringing you content over here. We'll be getting you ready for the playoffs, and I will be basically previewing. I'll try to preview each and every one of the first round games, and then, you know, without giving you my picks, I'll just preview and give you scenarios on keys to victories for both teams. But these games are very intriguing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see these games. A lot of people are predicting blowouts in a lot of these games. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Uh, these matchups in the first round, they're more equally matched than a lot of you think. They're very, very more equally matched than a lot of you think. One game I will speak on right now is the Tennessee Ohio State game. Ohio State needs to be careful, and that is a situation, and I think Ryan Day is in a very bad situation with that with that right there, because here's why. And I'm just gonna put it on out there. Here's why. There are some Buckeye fans that are rooting against Ryan Day. Believe it or not, there are some Buckeye fans that are rooting against him. There are some Buckeye fans that will be willing to sacrifice this season to get a new coach or a chance to get Urban Meyer back in Columbus. There are some Ohio State fans that are that disgusted with Ryan Day. And in my opinion, because the narrative is he just can't win the big game, the last thing Ryan Day would need is to lose a home playoff game to Tennessee. This would be back-to-back losses, first to your hated rival and now to an SEC team. That wouldn't be a good look at all. So, in my opinion, I think it would have been better if this game would have been in Knoxville. for Ryan Day's sake. I think it would have been a better situation if this game was in Knoxville. But the fact that this game is in Columbus, there's going to be so much pressure on Ryan Day. One sign of trouble in that game, and the fans are going to turn on him. The fans in Columbus Stadium, I'm sorry, in Ohio Stadium at the Horseshoe, they are going to turn on Ryan Day, and that would be advantage Tennessee. So Josh Heupel's, if I'm Josh Heupel, my strategy would be to score first and score often in the first quarter. Score first. If Tennessee jumps out and scores first on Ohio State, that crowd is going to turn on Ryan Day. Or if you see that offense, that Ohio State offense is not able to move the ball, or if they're going 3 and out on the first 2 series, that crowd is going to turn on Ryan Day. Not the team, but they're going to turn on Ryan Day. That's that would not be good. That would not be good. There was nothing more motivating to a visiting team, a team that's traveling to play a game of this importance. There would be nothing more motivating to the Tennessee Vols is if to see the home crowd turn on the home team and the head coach. That does something to the visiting team. So everyone, I just want to share that a little bit with you, but we'll talk more about it. We will talk more about it. It's playoff season. So everybody, make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All right. So that way you can get all the notifications for every time that we go live over here and we discuss the playoffs. We're going to have the road to Atlanta. My bro D True Sniper, my sis You Knew, will be bringing you the road to Atlanta. And I will be on here on the dog call talking about my Georgia Bulldogs and our chances of running the table and winning Kirby Smart 3rd national title, which would make our 5th total national title in school history. So everyone, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button on your way out. And hey, stay warm and stay dry. Please be careful out there on them wet roads. They can be dangerous. The temperatures are going to drop later tonight. So you know what that means. We could have black ice in certain areas of the metro area. So everyone, be safe. Like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And one last thing, forever and always, no matter what, it's always going to be go dogs, sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everyone. Salute.